Hi, I'm Kate from Hand Connection and welcome back to this week's energy for everybody. So if you haven't been here before, each week I just share a really simple energetic guide just to help give you a little bit of clarity on what's happening for the week ahead and hopefully help you orient yourself for the week ahead. So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I just want to start this one off with a bit of an overview of February. So this month carries like a quieter, more inward energy for many people, but it's not exactly stagnant. So compared to last month, things are going to feel less about pushing forward and more about noticing what's actually present, if that makes sense. So if there have been things that you've been ignoring or boundaries that you've been letting slide, or if there's been something that's been like quietly tapping you on the shoulder that you haven't been giving attention to, then this month is sort of going to be asking you to recalibrate and realign to that. So as a whole, there's kind of going to be this overall sense of sort of slowing down just enough to feel and sense and see what it is that may have been feeling easier to sidestep previously. And this week begins slowly. So emotions are going to feel quite close to the surface. Midweek, you start getting a little bit more clarity and sort of this steadier internal footing. And then by the weekend, things start to soften, creating space with what it is that you've recognized. So moving into Monday, you might feel like you're feeling a little bit flat again, or just feeling like you need to go inward again, similar to the start of last week. And if that's where you're at, that's okay, because there's also a chance to notice yourself more clearly today. So what do I mean by that? Well, distraction might not work today the way that it usually does for you. So avoidance can kind of feel louder, if that makes sense. And this might manifest in like feeling pulled between wanting distraction and then also needing like this stillness. So I just encourage you to let yourself move slowly without judging it if you can. And if things are feeling heavy for you today, just gently ask yourself, like, what am I actually needing right now? And like, where is this actually coming from? Or what might I be trying to avoid? And just notice how it is that your body responds to that question. So where Monday might have felt quite dull, today brings sharper sensitivity and awareness. So this can feel uncomfortable, but it also means you're more tuned in. So if you feel more reactive or more emotionally like exposed, that's not random today. You're actually right where you need to be. Some things may land a little harder than usual today, like stuff that you've been putting up with may feel harder to actually tolerate today. So just try not to brush it off if you're noticing this today. So if emotions feel heightened, just to ask yourself, like, what is it that feels important here, even if it feels uncomfortable? Like, what am I reacting to underneath all of this? And just let the question sit. Try not to analyze it and just kind of observe what starts shifting within mind or body. So after the first couple of days, Wednesday brings a sense of this sort of clarity and steadiness. So you might see something clearly that you can't unsee now. This can feel grounding to know where you stand, even if what you see isn't like perfect yet. And that might make you feel a little bit unsettled, but that's a good thing. It's those moments when real shifts are happening. So you just like allow yourself to trust what it is that you're recognizing, and trust what it is that's becoming clear for you. So if clarity does arrive for you today, perhaps ask yourself, like, what feels true now that didn't before? Or like, what feels more honest? So again, you don't need to act on it, just simply acknowledge what comes up. So after getting clarity on Wednesday, today you might feel a little bit more motivated and a bit more focused. So there can be this sense of things starting to line up for you at an internal level. But at the same time, you might find that pressure arises around what needs your attention. So you might feel like there's this internal push to start organizing or make decisions or start actually addressing that thing that you've been putting off. So it's like there's something here that no longer fits and it's being highlighted for you. So if that resonates for you today, just a reminder that you don't need to rush anything, or you don't need to start putting things in motion or take action just yet. So if this arises for you today, if you're feeling that kind of internal push, just ask yourself, like, what is genuinely ready to move and what isn't? And just kind of notice the difference maybe in your body, like what actually feels steady and what feels like it's being forced. Yay for Fridays. I always love a Friday. So as the week draws to a close, you might feel the urge to actually start disengaging or switching off, or just like easing back a little bit. So if you're feeling tired, it's likely from internal effort, not a lack of productivity. So it might even feel like a sense of relief today, along with like this sense of kind of emotional tiredness. And that relief mixed with this kind of emotional exposure might highlight where it is that tension has eased for you, and also where you now have more space opening up as a result of all that work you've done. So you're allowed to ease off without sort of minimizing what's come up for you this week and without dismissing what it is that you've worked through. So if you are feeling a little bit worn down today, you can just ask yourself, like, what have I actually been carrying this week? You know, like what has shifted for me, even if it was just quietly. And just let yourself acknowledge it. Just let the question land without judgment. So Saturday's carrying a gentler, more like open tone. It's not like you're numb. It's just like you're more at ease today. You feel more present, even if some things still remain unresolved, which they probably will. So there's room today to just enjoy what feels lighter and enjoy that softness without needing closure on everything. So if things do feel calmer for you today, just take a moment, take some time to reflect on what it is that feels easier. You know, what feels easier when I stop trying to manage everything, and what feels lighter simply because I've actually stopped pushing it. And notice what softens, notice what kind of eases when that effort just kind of naturally drops off. Sundays are always for rest, right? Anyway, this Sunday does carry a quiet, reflective kind of quality to it with fewer distractions, like it's a calm day. And if things feel like simple but still quite emotionally honest, that's the week settling for you. So emotions may still be quietly integrating, and you might find yourself sort of naturally allowing yourself to rest without having to wrap anything up neatly, if that makes sense. So simple moments might just feel more satisfying than usual today. As the day winds down, just ask yourself, like, what do I want to leave in this week? What is it that I want to carry forward into next week, and what can just stay here? Again, like, you don't need to decide straight away, but just sort of notice what comes to mind for you. So to sum it up, this week is really asking for honesty, but it is also offering moments of steadiness and ease. So it might not always feel comfortable, and you might have moments where it feels both heavy and gentle kind of at the same time. That balance is intentional. So just know that there's something meaningful happening that is being integrated here. Next week, we start seeing more of an outward, active and kind of engaged energy in comparison to this week's inward processing. So look, if you would like to come back and check in as that energy shift starts to unfold, then please by all means hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss it. And if you liked this video, or if anything resonated with you, if you've rewatched it after the days have progressed, please hit the like button.